Alright guys, so I got everything set up now to demonstrate what I want to show here. So basically, normally we run a battery, we run our pulse motors and our loads off of a single battery. Basically, and we run it off a 12 volt battery, we run it off 24 volts or 48 volts or whatever. But either we're running them off of series or parallel, but we're still running it off of one battery only. And yeah, we're using one battery to run the motor, and we're charging another battery. But I want to talk about what's called splitting the positive, or there's a couple of different names for this method. There's splitting the positive, or they call it the Tesla 3 battery switch, or the 3 battery setup, or whatever. So basically, this setup that I'm going to show you takes. You can do this with 3 batteries, but I recommend doing it with 4. So I've got 2 batteries right here, and right now I've got the voltmeter connected. Both of these batteries are in parallel, so you can see the positive is connected to the positive and the negative is connected to negative. And we've got 12.83 volts across this parallel battery bank, and I can show you that's 1283 on this battery right here, as you can see on the voltmeter over there, and then right here on this one it's 1283. So they're in parallel. It doesn't matter which battery I read. And off of the positives that are bridged right here, I have a 5 amp meter, analog amp meter, so I can connect the motor to the positive of the motor of the battery right here, and we can read the amp draw, and then I can connect the negative to the motor. As a matter of fact, I can't connect it like this, so actually I did make a bunch of adapters and all that stuff to be able to do this, so I'm gonna disconnect that. I went ahead and did this yesterday, so it'll help me a lot in these videos. So we're gonna still put it in parallel just like that, but now I have an extra connection for the spade connector, so I'll connect the negative of the motor right here. So now the negative's connected. So as you can see, we got 1283 on the motor. So, and I got some tape on the motor so you can see it actually is spinning and it'll be turned on. So I'm going to connect the motor, and right now we're just running the motor off of a normal battery bank, off of a normal battery. Just think of these 2 batteries as one because they're in parallel. So here we go. We're going to connect the motor, and it's drawing. See, the motor's on. Nothing fancy going on here, just running off of a regular battery the way that this motor is supposed to run, right? And we're dropping in voltage because this motor consumes quite a bit of power. We're consuming around 1 amp, pretty much exactly 1 amp right there, as you can see. And of course, whenever when I put resistance on the shaft, you'll see the amp draw go up and the voltage go down, because the motor is going to want to draw more current from the battery, and we're going to lose power in the battery. So I'm going to try and slow this motor down. So you see, whenever I put resistance on it, it'll go up to 2. If I want to, it'll go up to 3 amps. Ooh, that even burns my finger, literally. Yeah, that was. So this is normal motor action. So remember, we're running. You see, when I constrict the shaft, amp draw goes up, voltage goes down. So this is normal motor action, and keep this in mind. Pulse motors don't do this; they do opposite. Whenever you constrict, whenever you put resistance on the shaft, like on a Bedini motor, when all the magnets are facing north and south, your amp draw will go down, and your voltage will rise up slightly because you're using less power. but you can still utilize that mechanical torque. But you can't utilize. I mean, it doesn't have as much torque as this DC motor though, unless it's like a pretty beefy Bedini motor. Anyways, not to get off track here. So yeah, you can see the amp draw goes up every time I try and slow down the motor, and the power goes down, the voltage goes down on the battery. So, ooh, that burns. But yeah, there's a lot of torque on this motor, and actually this is a 12 volt motor right here. This is actually a recycled motor. I got it at the junkyard actually. This motor is to an RV. The RV heating systems, the propane systems, will have like a little blower fan in there, and it'll have like two fan blades on each side, but it's 12 volts, so I thought it'd be good for this video. So what happens, what's the difference between, well, let me change my camera mode here. So normally we would run, well, right now the way this is running right now is exactly like this, and I have this written closed loop circuit, right? So because this is a closed loop circuit, we have the motor connected to the positive and negative of this 12 volt battery right now, and we're consuming current, and you know, the battery's draining over time, right? So, but it's a closed loop circuit because the electrons will flow through the load and back into the battery, so it's like circulating over itself. And like basically, yeah, like if I connect like a little 2-watt LED bulb, 12 volt bulb to this battery, it's gonna last a really long time, right? To that 12 volt battery right there. But if I connect, you know, something that draws, these are 7 amp hour batteries, so put in parallel, that's 14 amp hour battery. You know, I would have to plug something up that draws somewhere near 14 amps to get this to drain pretty quickly. It's draining slowly. These are very healthy batteries, by the way. And I'm pulling 1 amp right now, which I'll actually get it to draw more. I actually need this to draw more power. But the whole point I'm trying to get across here is that the way we run our loads, you know, our devices, pulse motors off of a single battery, that's a closed loop circuit. The energy is coming out and going back in. It's basically just circulating within itself, and based on the load, the resistance of the load, you know, based on how much current the load needs to run, is basically going to equal how fast, determine how fast your battery is going to drain and die. You know, so right now at this rate, it's taking that long to go down. But if I put resistance, more resistance on the battery, that's going to drain quicker if I can hold it long enough without my finger burning up, right? So as a matter of fact, actually I'll put a bigger load on here, and so we know that this motor draws 1 amp at 12.5 volts, right? Draws 1 amp. So we can get a reference of that. Okay, I actually want to drain these batteries right now, because in order for the setup to work, what I'm going to show you with the splitting the positive setup, we need to have 4 batteries, and the 2 of them need to be depleted, and the other 2 need to be fully charged for it to work properly. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the motor. We'll disconnect the motor right here, and I'm going to get the motor out of the way. So I'm just going to put it over here. And now we have this little 50-watt inverter. It's a pretty efficient little inverter. I like this little inverter. About 2 of them online. They don't have any. It's all passively cooled. They don't have any fans. And then I made some little alligator clips here, so I can plug up a cigarette lighter to this 12 volt battery. So we're going to connect it here, and then we're going to connect this to the amp meter right there. So now we've got our cigarette lighter connected to the battery. And now I'm going to plug in this inverter, and now it's on. You can see the little green light right there, and it's barely consuming anything at idle. See, it's probably consuming like 50 milliamps or something like that. So it pulls very little power. Hold on, my camera. Yeah, I got one of these fancy camera stabilizers, which helps because you can, you know, position the camera any way you want. So now I'm gonna run this this car charger right here. This is a 24 volt slash, it's a 12 volt slash 24 volt automotive car charger, and it works on pretty much every type of battery: lithium, iron phosphate, lipo 4, lead acid. So yeah, we're gonna hook this up to the battery, and we're gonna power it off the inverter. And this is just normal, how we normally hook up things. So I guess I'll put it right there so you can see it. Okay, so let's take a reading of the battery voltage, the big battery, which doesn't really matter, but I just want to show you where it's at. So I hook up the alligator clips. Let's see. Now just pick it up. Okay, so we got 12.60 on the big battery right here. So I've got the car charger hooked up to the battery, ready to go. 12.60, and I haven't plugged up the battery charger to the inverter yet, so we're not drawing anything hardly. And this battery's at 12.70. So let me put the camera down for a second. Gonna plug the charger up, and this little inverter will only charge this battery on repair mode. So there it goes into repair mode, and you can see right now it's pulling 2 amps, and now it's starting to charge the big battery, and the other battery's dropping. Our run battery, basically, what we're powering the inverter off of. So we're not doing anything special here. All we're doing is running an inverter off a 12 volt battery, which are 2 12 volt batteries in parallel. So, and we're basically wanting to drain this, and this is draining it quicker because we're using 2 amps instead of 1 now, and it's, let's see if I can you can see right there, it says pulse charging, right, in repair mode, which that mode will desulfate the battery if there's any sulfation on that charger. So I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm gonna let this process keep going until this battery is like down to like 12 volts. I want it to get it really down, 12.2 or something like that, and then I'm gonna come back and re-record, and then we're gonna hook up the batteries into the 3 battery system, or I'll call it the 4 battery system because it's 4 batteries. So I want to call it the 4 battery system to be more accurate. But that's pretty cool, huh? I mean, nothing special going on here. We just got a really efficient inverter, which, you know, it's not even getting hot at all. None of my wires are getting hot. We're only consuming 2 amps, but we're pulse charging that battery, this big one. Yeah, after I deplete this all the way, and then I put these other two, let me get this out of the way. These are the other two batteries. These are fully charged. Let me see what they're at right now. $12.85 on that one. $12.85 on both of them, exactly. And these are actually good batteries too, so I need these to drop in voltage so I can connect them together, so there'll be a potential voltage difference. Because yeah, you can have them fully charged, both of them, but if you do the running between the positives, this battery bank in 24 volts and this one in parallel, this is going to overcharge this battery to like freaking 16, 17 volts, even more if you keep letting it go, and you're going to just damage this battery. So that's why you want this battery to be completely depleted. That's why I'm doing this. So I'm showing you what you need to do before you run this setup. You need to make sure that these batteries, that two of your batteries need to be drained, you know, all the way, and two of them need to be fully charged. So I'm going to go ahead and let this process keep going, and I'll be right back. Okay, thank you guys. Alright, so I had to plug this inverter and the motor back up to the battery to draw it down instead, because this battery started off gassing, and I had filled it up with some water a while back, and some of it was coming out, the electrolyte, so I just basically unplugged it. So this is how I'm draining it now, but I'm actually draining it around 2 amps, so it's gone down to that far. So I have this is a very inefficient inverter as well. It's just an old one I had lying around. Somebody had gave this to me a long time ago. This plug, I don't even remember if this one works actually, but it didn't have a plug here, and I don't know why. A long time ago I had soldered the wires in. Just soldered an AC plug to it, directly into it, and just tried to repurpose an old inverter back then. So, but it is running through the amp meter along with the motor, and if I turn off the inverter, you'll see it go down. So I'll turn it off right now, and actually the light will turn off because the light's plugged up to the inverter. So the motor's drawing, still drawing around 1 amp. And we'll turn on the inverter, so it goes back up to 2 amps, and it's powering this light, which is really, this light gets hot. I can't even hold that. So anyways, yeah, I'm just trying to get this light, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this battery drained, so it's gonna take a little bit, I guess. Anyways, we'll be right back, I guess, whenever it's pretty much dead. I mean, the inverters will shut off at a safe voltage for the battery. At least that's what they're designed to do. So I don't know if I should just let it sit here and just do this, and of course the motor will still be running. But yeah, this fan is on this inverter. The light's on, and the inverter's on itself too, so, and you can see it drawing. It's going down little by little. But yeah, if you want this to work, you need to make sure that these batteries are pretty much drained. Down to like 12 volts. Yeah, these are pretty good batteries. They're holding up under a 2 amp load. I could probably plug something else into this. Oh, let me turn on my... Let me go ahead and put you back onto the camera stabilizer thing. There we go. Okay. What else can I plug into this? Got something else I can plug in. I don't even know if this port works. I can't remember. I haven't used this inverter in forever. Let's plug in. This is a pretty beefy phone charger. I'll plug in the phone that we're recording on. Let's see. Nah, it's not even charging. Yeah, that plug doesn't work. Okay, so what I'll do is I have a power strip. I'll go ahead and unplug the light from the inverter. Plug in this power strip to the inverter right here, so I can plug in some more stuff to it. Plug the light back up. Okay. Light's plugged up. Now we can plug in the phone charger. It sucks a lot of power. Okay. So now I'm going to plug in the phone that we're recording on. Boom, it went up to 3 amps. Alright, so now we're draining that battery pretty quick. So that's about its maximum I want to drain at 3 amps. So we got the light on right here. And we've got this, I think this is a 25 watt. I don't remember. So yeah, I'm going to get that battery down. Alright, so now we're drying. Almost close to 3 amps. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this now, and I'm going to just let this run all the way till the inverter shuts off, or around there. I'm just going to stop it around, honestly, around 12 volts. And then after that, we'll go ahead and come back. I think I'm just going to post this as a part 1 video. Yeah, I'm probably going to put these videos together and post it as a part 1. Part 2 will be, you know, just basically the 4 battery system. But this is just showing you, like, hey, we're running a motor and loads over you know, like a normal setup over a 12-volt battery. And we're drawing amperage, we're drawing current, and we're, you know, the battery's going down. So this is basically like a normal setup that anybody would run an inverter or motor, whatever they want, you know. Typical setup. I know it looks messy because of the wires, but I actually have 100 or over. I think I have over 100 of these batteries, these little 7 amp hour batteries. But quite a few of them are bad. They need to be, they probably can be repurposed. Basically, you know, desulfate them. I'll probably open up the tops and put some distilled water in there. But a lot of them work, are really, really good. I had got 90 of them for like 50 bucks off this lady on Facebook. That was a steal. And probably out of 90 of them, I think probably 20 of them or less, 20 or less of them, I can't remember, were bad. So yeah, it's dropping that battery pretty good now. Nothing's getting hot. Let's see. I mean, these wires are rated for 10 amps. So nothing getting hot here, nothing getting hot here. So she's dropping steadily. And I could plug something else in, but I don't want to hurt these batteries. I mean, I could. It's technically a 14 amp hour battery, but let's see. Initial current 2.1. So yeah, I'm going a little bit over, but it's alright. These batteries are in good shape. Because if they weren't, you would see that battery dropping. It wouldn't be holding at that voltage for long. It would have already been dead. So. Alright guys, I'll be back. I'll probably make this, yeah, like a single video, and then I'm gonna make another video after these batteries are drained. That'll be a part 2. That way I can get this one uploaded right now. Y'all can skip through it, watch it, and part 2 will be the interesting one. It'll be where we run everything between the positives. Alright, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Share the videos. This video series is going to be on splitting the positive. The Tesla 3 battery system, basically. That's what I'm going to be showing here. Alright, thank you guys. See you in the next one. Peace out.